Are you voting? Are you a voter?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you voted? What made you want to get out and do it?
Well, I just thought it was. I think the thing I remember, like when I was 14 or 15, I asked my father who he voted for, and he said, "I'm not to tell you, that's a private thing." And that's when it hit me that like voting was like a serious thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was legal age to vote, I think it was like for a local our mayor or something, who turned out to be crooked and got thrown in jail for slapping a guy around and doing all this other bad stuff because his wife was cheating on him.
Wow.
Cianci, yeah, he was out of his mind. And then they reelected him, like, because he was Italian and all the Italians stick by each other. And they interviewed this old woman, like, why would you vote for him? And he goes, hey, the guy was messing around with his wife. He deserved what he got. Like, that was the mentality.
Whoa.
So
okay.
that was the first one. And I just think, like, that's what you are supposed to do. And then I also, like, handed flyers out for local Democratic politicians. And then I was an intern in the state Senate when I was in college.
Wow.
In Providence, Rhode Island. So there was always some like political interest,
Yeah, and being in the Daily Show.
Yeah, and then it was like that. It kind of that, It's funny. The beginning of the Daily Show with Liz, we were like targeting all different kinds of people. We were going after like, we weren't just doing politics. We were doing, we would something in pop culture that day, or music, or art, or politics, and then John Stewart came on and kind of focused it to politics and news and stuff like that, and the media's coverage of politics,
What do you think that this election cycle, it's so important to vote?
I think it's important to vote because, I always think it's important to vote. I feel like this one, here's the reason why I feel Trump needs to be defeated. I wouldn't vote for him. Some people out there might. It's not because he's Trump. It's not because he's even not qualified. It's because of the arrogance. There's a very fine note for me that is the disconnect, which is that this need to, this feeling that he doesn't need to be qualified and doesn't have to answer to it is the thing that's frightening to me. You get in a car accident, we wheel you into an emergency room, and it's like the doctor going, what's all the red stuff inside this person? And what's that thing that's moving? That's a heart. What's a heart? Well, don't you know? What are you asking me if I need to know that for? You're just the liberal media that's picking. That's why I don't think people need to go out and vote against him. I understand that he's tapped into like a disconnect. But he's ruined it because he could have really done it the right way. Like this arrogance of like, these yahoos that are beating people up that don't agree with him and cold cocking people and all that 78-year-old guy. That's why I think like if he came out and said, Americans will be very forgiving. Like if you came out and said, you know what, I don't have a lot of political experience, but that's why I'm your guy. But I'm going to learn. Like just last week, I sat down with 3 of the best minds at Princeton in economic minds, and I know this now. I'd be like, okay, well, this guy's trying. But anytime he's questioned, he goes, why? That's just you. You shouldn't ask that question. Yeah, but you got spittle like right here. So, I don't get the spittle. Trump never get, like he's out of his mind. But I also think Megyn Kelly was wrong. Megyn Kelly, somewhere along the line, I go on a lot of these shows. Like I go on CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, and everything. And I'm part of the problem, but I'm trying to be the guy that sort of is like funny, but also like keeping both sides honest, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was on a panel on Hannity. It was me, Hannity, 2 other, I think one other sort of neutral person or Democrat, two other Republicans. And Obama had said the Constitution's a flawed document, which it is. It was amended 27 times, blah, blah, blah. It was intended to be that way. A living, breathing document. So they all on Fox News want to just take anything that they can and go after Obama with it. So this is un-American that our president would talk about our Constitution, blah, blah, blah. Well, I said it was a flawed document, blah, blah, blah. And there's a black guy on the panel and a Republican. And he goes, yes, this document is perfect. That's how it was written. And I turned to him on national television and said, you of all people can't say that. He goes, what do you mean? I go, based on that document as originally written, you were 3/5 a person. You were a torso. You're a torso right now. And he was like, like he couldn't get his head around it. And so you know, the cable news, maybe CNN's the most neutral, but even still more liberal. It's not about objective journalism anymore. This is probably really boring for your listeners.
No, no,
it's about it's not. It's about celebrity and winning the day and ratings. And the way you win ratings is like when I go on Fox News as a show Outnumbered, and if I don't toe the line, I get beat up on Twitter by these people who are sitting home and just want to pleasure themselves to blonde women with fake boobs and who say all the things, who literally and mentally, physically, mentally, emotionally masturbate to that information. Same thing with the liberals with MSNBC. So what ends up happening is Megyn Kelly and I'm all about how you say stuff, maybe because I'm a comedian. If you listen to the way she said it, if you look at her, and I don't have anything against her, I think she's a good journalist. I thought it was inappropriate the way it was asked, and it was clearly with an agenda, and that's not her job.
Right.
Her job is not to be there to defend feminism in that night. She wants to defend it, defend women. She should. And I think that's happened across the board. Like everybody's trying to get their 2 minutes of fame. I don't know. And you got Hillary. I mean, I don't know. With the email thing. I don't know. She's 68. I don't want a 68-year-old person doing email. I mean, think about it. She probably gave
Can you see your mom do an email?
No, Hillary probably gave like the treasury routing number to a Nigerian prince and didn't even know it. And then Bernie, of course you're going to get kids to follow Bernie. He's promising everything that the numbers don't work. I mean, I get it, like especially like free, but somewhere it all comes home to roost. So I mean, it's it's clearly not. Kasich is actually, I feel bad for the guy. He's like one of the more reasonable ones.
Which, being from Ohio, that it's...
Are you more liberal bent or?
I mean, yeah. But being from Ohio and like seeing, how my family and friends back home are reacting to the things that he's done throughout his career, and how they're like wouldn't even dream it.
Well, here's the thing. Somebody should ask Trump, and I wish with one person, if I could get one question in a debate, I'd be like, so here's a proposal for you, Mr. Trump. I go to your casinos, and I've had a pretty good experience with them, but I think they could be better. Now, I understand you're building a new one in Vegas, in Washington, D.C., a big hotel. So here's what I'd like to propose. I know nothing about building a hotel or a casino, never done it before, but I would like to oversee $1 billion development project of yours, run everything, make all the decisions. I'll learn as I go. I don't know anything. I don't want to be expected to know anything. I don't even want to be questioned why I don't know anything. Are you okay with that? He'd say, no, you're crazy. Then I would say, why would you want to do that with with America? It's the exact same thing.
That's a good analogy. I like that analogy.
Well, I'm not just a pretty face. You know what I'm saying? And a flat ass.